Hi everyone, welcome to another quick session. In this session, we will discuss a few more important topics for the CISSP exam, system resilience, high availability, and fault tolerance. Um, the goal is to ensure IT systems continue functioning even during during failures, during disruption, during an outage, right? So that is the goal, system resilience, high availability, and fault tolerance. And in this particular session, we will focus on hard drive protection, server resilience, power continuity, trusted recovery, and quality of service. Um, so protecting hard drive, RAID, uh, redundant array of independent disks used to prevent data loss if a disk fails. So that RAID that makes sure redundancy. If there are multiple disks, and if one disk goes down, one disk fails, then we have another redundant disk. So it prevents data loss if one disk fails. So RAID example for CISSP exam, for instance, RAID 1 mirroring two drives with identical data. So we have two drives where we keep identical data. Mirroring means we mirror the same data on other disk. It provides us high redundancy um, and simple fault tolerance. So RAID 5, another example is RAID 5, uh, striping plus parity, balance between speed and redundancy, can tolerate one disk failure. So key point, RAID is a backup. You still need offsite backup for disasters. Okay, so RAID disk fault tolerance, not a disaster recovery. Okay, so we need to keep in mind that is for disk fault tolerance. It's not for the disaster recovery. So second point is protecting server high availability. Use technology that keeps servers running even if one fails. Uh, the very common methods: clustering multiple servers, share workload, load balancing, distribute traffic across different servers, failover systems, standby server takes over automatically. So in cluster we can keep multiple, or we can install, or we can configure multiple servers to share workload. Load balancing, distribute traffic across different server. Failover system, standby server takes over um, automatically. For instance, if there is a, let's say if there is a primary server, our primary router, our primary firewall, and due to whatever odd reason, if one particular device goes down, that standby takes over automatically. So we configure them in a way that they send kind of heartbeat to the backup server or backup device or standby device. As soon as primary device goes down, then standby device take over. Configuring any there are different methods to configure that. So very common method, heartbeat. So when we configure heartbeat between two devices, uh, they keep checking their heartbeat. If one side is down, then they will not. Then one server will not receive. Will not. Other one server will not respond to another server. So that means then server A is down, and then server B will take over. So that is failover systems. For example, active passive failover cluster standby node activates if main nodes if the main node fails, right? Clustering and load balancing, availability failover, and redundancy, right? So that makes sure availability. Availability is a very important CI tried. So confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So this is the tried. So we need to make sure availability, right? Protecting power sources, system need constant, clean, uninterrupted power. UPS on UPS is short term power, right? Generators long term backup power, right? If there is a power outage, generator can provide backup for the long term. And redundant circuits, dual power feeds, right? A data center with dual power feeds and automatic backup generators. In data center, we have power supply from the two different vendors. If one vendor goes down, then automatically power supply is taken over by the second vendor. So that is uh, this is how we install power supply in the data centers. So what we need to keep in mind for the CISSP exam, if they talk about short-term power outage, then we can have a UPS, long-term backup power is generator, and redundant circuits, dual power feeds, right? Different power supplies vendors. Power redundancy prevents outages from taking systems offline. Next one, fourth one is trusted recovery. After a failure, the system must recover securely without violating security controls. Types roll back to known good configuration, fail safe or fail secure recovery system restart without corrupting security setting. After crash, systems roll back to last secure configuration without bypassing access control. Trusted recovery restores securely without bypassing security. Last one is quality of service. Quality of service is ensures bandwidth and latency guarantees for critical applications. So, for example, VoIP, voice over IP traffic prioritize over YouTube or web browsing. Mission critical apps receive granted bandwidth. So, quality of service very very big topic. In the network infrastructure, we can configure a quality of service for few important important traffic, right, which we want to prioritize, right? So as we discussed that if we want to prioritize web traffic over YouTube or web browsing, then we can configure it accordingly. So quality of services means prioritizing critical traffic to maintain availability. So to we prioritize critical traffic over less critical traffic. So that is quality of service. So now if we summarize all the topics which we have discussed, RAID protects disk RAID 1, RAID 5. It is not a backup. So that we need to keep in mind. Server resilience, keep server online, clustering, load balancing, failover. So these are the methods we are used. So high availability. Power protection, maintain power, UPS, generator, duals, circuits, prevent outages. Trusted recovery, secure recovery, rollback, fail safe, not bypassing security due to whatever odd reason. If server is restored or not restored, sorry, rebooted, then it should come up with the safe with the previous configuration before reboot. So it should not bypass any security control. Quality of service prioritize traffic bandwidth control. Critical service get priority. Critical services get priority. So RAID, once again, RAID protects against disk failure, but you still need a backup. Clustering, load balancing, make sure availability, failover, redundancy, trusted recovery system recovers without degrading security. Quality of servers, QoS, ensure mission critical apps always have good bandwidth. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any question or feedback, please share in the feedback section.